Hey everyone, Brento here. Welcome to another episode of Dump City. Descend into madness with me as we build a virtual communist world. Alright, now I've read my catch line here. Let's get back to the game. It looks like a lot of our buildings that we've launched, like our universities, our cinema, our police department, a lot of this stuff still hasn't even begun construction. We're still a long way from creating utopia here. In the last episode, we kind of laid out our metro system. I did a little bit of cleaning up between episodes just to get, there was some lines I never connected here. But the whole thing's kind of planned out. This is all in blueprint mode. Here we've got our wooden Golden Gate Bridge. Oh yeah, I found it Oakland. This is Oakland, right? So that I think relative to the geography here, this would make sense that it would be on the other side of San Francisco here, and you would cross the wooden Golden Gate Bridge to get there. Again, this is communist. This is Soviet America, right? I don't want anyone to confuse this with real America. This is Soviet America. This is the alternate timeline starting in, well, now we're into 1961. You're informed when you watch the full episode. This isn't you relying on CNN or Fox News for your data. This is you going right to the journalists, going right on the street, talking to people, seeing what's going on. This is facts. This is how the real system works. So this is the unclipped version. If you're Well, maybe this part is clipped, but generally these early ramblings I don't clip out. Just getting caught up isn't. It's not as interesting as the rants. I think the rants are more interesting. Maybe I should ease up a bit on the rants. We're planning our metro system. Just have a look here. Check that out. Check that out. Again, this is all blueprint. If you haven't watched other episodes, this is my second try at realistic mode, of Soviet Republic here. And the first try of it, I ran off the fiscal cliff, and because the interest was so high, I couldn't service the debt, even though I was otherwise profitable. Like the society would have survived, but the greedy rich people wanted their cut, and therefore all of society had to collapse. So that was the lesson to the last so-called, attempted communism. It makes you wonder if, when it was originally, tried out, the original Soviet Union, if it wasn't the Tsars that fronted quite a bit of the money, but they just wanted too much of a cut and eventually ran out of money, right? And the whole thing fell apart. But I think if we, I mentioned this in other episodes, that, nationalizing enough banks or cooperative banks, I think, is the way to go. But maybe when the U.S. goes to real communism, maybe they don't try the same version that was done in the Soviet Union. Maybe they try stuff like that. Maybe it's just, hey, we change the rules so that it's much easier to make cooperatives, unionized banks, and just facilitate all this, right? Just the changes to the laws would be like that's how. And that's how the U.S. is supposed to work. Like it's supposed to be the lawyers change the rules. Like you support laws that get written into law that get enforced, right? It works well within the constitutional framework. Now, there wouldn't have to be technically a revolution for this to happen. Don't have multi-billion-dollar companies advise politicians constantly in everything they do. Like, in short, if there's a politician who's, backed by a large corporation, just make it into law where you can't have candidates who receive any funding by large corporations, whether it's a cushy job later in life or money put into any account related to them. Like anyone who's in office, more or less, should have their bank info and any account that has their name titled on them in any format needs to be public domain, so you can see how much money they're getting for what they're doing. Now, that said, the job itself, and maybe that's why it doesn't pay so much. But I think at the same time, you would want to pass a law. Like when you're passing the law that says you can't have corporate donors, you should be passing into law saying the salary is going to, triple what it is now. Like make it a very lucrative job so that, honest, real like Americans are applying for the job because it's a very lucrative, and they do what is best for the economy, not what is best for the corporate donor. And that's the ultimate, fundamental flaw to the U.S. economy is that corporations act in their own interest and rarely consider as they say, privatize the profit, make public the costs, right? That's how they operate, and that's how the middle, that top 1% band of income earners, it's getting out of hand. So if you have honest people in office doing what's genuinely good for the public, they'll consider all the external costs, and they'll vote down more bills. And while I do think some politicians are genuinely trying to do better for society, I think there's also some that are just, you got voted into the office because you were popular. You weren't necessarily the sharpest tool in the shed. Like, let's just be honest here. That a lot of the politicians are, glib talking heads, and they can get voted. They can draw attention to themselves, but their policies and even when they think they're fighting back against the system, they're not doing the best job. Like, you need to speak with people who have different points of view. I think that would be another thing. I think it's a mistake to trust the institutional and the groupthink too much. Like, I think, in general, groupthink has the most truth to it, but it's the outlier of ideas that probably have the soundest reason to it. I think this the method of discussing, dialogue, and questioning what's good and bad, and analyzing, just applying logic to all steps is probably the most fundamentally good way to make a decision. That what others say, as soon as you trust in what others say, there's people out there who, would buy a rock from a store, in the 1970s. It would sell rocks, and people would buy rocks. These are the same people. Like, I'm not fully in agreement that democracy, as it is now, is purely rational. I think there should be a degree to earning votes, but maybe I'll rant on that at another episode. Like, you should, at the very least, know what you're voting on. It's just what I would say on that. But regardless of who voted for you and what reason they voted for you, if you're in office, you should be. And I don't know if anyone in office would watch this, but maybe if someone knows someone and they say, "Hey, listen to this rant," I'm probably going to clip this out. But apply reason and logic, and be careful of the groupthink that following the best practice, because that best practice could be designed to enrich a corporation. So you have to ask yourself, why do some things? Just think. The number one way to make money is thinking, right? So there's my rant. One rant early. I'll try not to rant too much here because we got to get back to our game. To have a vibrant economy, it is presumed that everyone's sort of taken care of, and you create a big enough pool of healthy people that can be productive. Create the environment for success, in short, right? Even within some corporations, once they've, distilled you out of from the people that might question what your business actually does for society. Once you've been distilled at that level, once you get in the company, quite often they'll take care of you to a certain degree. But in a broad sense, all society should be like that. Just have a wider pool. It's just by the numbers, right? The more people you have to pick from, the more likely you're going to have a productive society. And from that, then you got to plan your industries. And since in our game here, we're just kind of getting started, A couple episodes ago, we started laying out our construction industries. This building here is the highest priority building in the world right now because this is where we're going to get our gravel made, and we can't be buying gravel and having it shipped in from the borders because it's just too much travel and you're paying more for it. Here we have a lot of construction waste. Our cathedral collapsed in an early episode, so as a result, we have a very large amount of garbage to deal with. So we want to basically have that converted to gravel so we can improve our roads and improve the speed at which vehicles work. Right now, given the era, gravel roads seem to be the appropriate amount. Most of our vehicles don't go much. They go 60 kilometers, maybe 70 kilometers an hour. And the gravel roads let you go 60. But a lot of our roads here, they're still mud. So we want to upgrade those so that we can more quickly build the rest of our city. Once this gravel processing facility is built, the next stage is probably going to be to get our concrete plant going. And I think we'll also want to get our track building, the rail construction office, because we want to start building our rail lines. Even though we're not going to build this massive metro rail network right away, we do need our link. Like this link here needs to be built up to the border, just one track wide, so we can put our train going. We got to queue it because it takes a long time to build it, so we can start operating our food factory and our distillery. So far, in terms of money, we're doing decent. We haven't taken any loans yet, and from what I understand, if you can avoid taking loans, you're probably going to win at this game. You don't have that fake money being given out to people. That's removed. Think about it. There's three accounts, like three general accounts that you have in this game. You got, your US dollars, you got your rubles, and then there's the private capital, which would be when you pay the interest, where does it go? Because it sure as hell doesn't end up back in these accounts. Like if that's how this really works, that's how they did communism in the 60s. I'll kind of defy who got duped into that. You're taking money out of the system and giving it to private families. That's the whole point of, it's the opposite of what I think they were trying to do. But if you don't borrow anything, it's not much of an issue. And if you do borrow a bit, don't borrow so much that the rates get so high. They increase the rates the more you borrow, which is also, again, not. It's just a bad human policy. It shouldn't be tolerated in societies. It should be I can see some, and I think it has been in some places been made illegal. It's been just, it's detrimental. Unless you have a big enough population to leech from, it's overall going to be very negative. So let's try to avoid money and not even have that problem. A few other things that I was doing here between episodes, I kind of laid out our entrance freeway here this year. I think this was done between episodes. So this was kind of a freeway junction. So this is how we get onto the freeway. So I think in the last episode, this was bending into here, but I want to distinguish it here. I want this to be this is the highway to Mexico and Canada. You turn left, you go to Canada, and you turn right, you go to Mexico. When you're building these highways, you can't use them. So that's why you can't just click on a highway and upgrade it. Because if you upgrade it, the highway itself gets disabled. So that's kind of the logic behind having multiple, branches to a highway. Is that you build the first branch, and then now that you can go up and down, and you have mobility, and that is the main thing is to have one branch to it. But then you add a second branch to improve the volume. You don't do both branches at once. That would be insane. Pretty much every highway does it's one branch at a time, right? So with that in mind, this episode, I'd like to start building our freeway system here. I want to build all these bridges. I want to figure out all the way between LA and San Francisco up to here. Make no mistake, these are going to be, communist freeways, and they're not going to look like if you've played other games like City Skylines, you're going to look at them and go, those are very, very Soviet style. And you might think it actually funny, but that's also, I thought that's good for an episode. I think that's entertainment. You build the best freeway you can with the roads you can, right? Like we have the wooden Golden Gate Bridge here after all. Other things to look at here is this road we started. We wanted to build an expressway to our pump jacks here because we found some oil and they're not moving oil to the borders fast enough. We have Russia here. Russia's looks like they're busy. Their construction office is empty, and if you've been following the series, it's always you always want to make sure your buildings have trucks in them like this, and they're busy all the time. There's a high probability I think this will become a refinery. And actually, let's just have a quick look at that. What does a refinery require? Oil. Looks like it's just oil, nothing else. A chemical plant, however, requires all kinds of things: gravel, wood, water, and oil. Maximum production is 14 tons of oil. The small one's 1.2 tons of oil per day. And the oil refinery, okay, this consumes a lot of oil. So absolutely, we have two oil nodes here. This one on the one near San Francisco. So one of them I was thinking would become the chemical plant and the other would become the refinery. This one's still under construction, but this is really looking like we should be building a refinery in this area here. We'd be able to get workers in from the city, and with this road built, like initially we're just going to have this road built. It's going to be a long time before we start having metro lines. So look at this. Look how slow the vehicles go in winter. This is why I want to go through winter here. We're 6 days away from the end of it where the snow disappears. And things will start getting built faster. Okay, snow is melting. Oh, another thing too, when the snow melts here, I'm just going to pause it for a second. When the snow is melting, we get this flooding here. So around the lakes, we sometimes have flooding. I know in the last game I had, there was an area that was very flood prone. So I'm going to do a quick population count. So we got how many people? Up here we have 11,686. So it looks like it wasn't as bad. We lost 91 people. Oh, sorry, 101 people over the winter. Oh yeah, we laid out another dump here. This is actually pretty high priority because our dumps are currently fully full because of our... I'm going to put a stop on this one. I don't think that bus station is quite needed. But because our dumps are full, we don't quite... We're sending it to the borders right now. Because we had all that earthquake early on in the series, all our dumps basically all over filled. That's why I have all these yellow areas. That's where we lost a home or a building. And some of these are never going to get replaced. And, it saves the time demolishing them. Normally you have to invest man hours to take down buildings, but when you have an earthquake, it kind of does it for you. Hopefully we don't get another one for a while. I don't know if that was the biggest one we could get, but I think they come every 3 or so years, and then there's one that comes every few decades that will level a good portion of your city. Hopefully by the time that one comes, we'll have this a fully full fire station, possibly another fire station here, possibly another fire station here, and they'll be able to deal with it. And the earthquakes are definitely devastating. So you're kind of preparing your world for an event that comes up, and that's sort of the motivation to keep doing it. Well, and one other thing I've kind of roughly laid out too is our permanent construction office, which I thought might go good here, because it's a little off from the bus station. You don't want to be within bus station range of these things because it doesn't use bus stations, and it's right by all our facilities here to grab stuff. And you don't want to be turning in and out, right? Like this could be a very busy road here. So I don't want to have it turn on and off where they're going in and out, because sometimes they're very slow going in and out of the parking lot. So I want them to go a little off the beaten path before they go into the parking lot. This is going to be, like, this could have almost been 2 lanes in each direction, because we are, like, this is one of the main roads through the city, and we know this is going to be a fairly busy zone. And this will fit 24 construction machines. So all these machines here, once this is built, can just get moved into here, and this will serve this zone. Like here, you're right at some, like this is the brick factory right there. Like that, if you need bricks, that's pretty quick. I was thinking of some jokes for to do. Okay, here's one bit. Here's one bit. So the idea is, I know some people with dogs, and they like to bark a lot. These dogs, they're very, very barky dogs. They're smaller dogs, and anything I do around these dogs, they just bark at. You show up, they're barking. You walk across the room, they're barking. They're just always barking all the time. They hear any noise, they're barking, barking, barking. I was thinking, why do people buy these barking dogs? Is it like they're not big and strong, they're not fast, they just bark a lot. So I was thinking, if this is such a high demand type of dog, why don't we breed Barky dogs? Like find dogs that bark more than other dogs and breed them to the point where, you know, each generation barks more than the last, right? And from that, create the ultimate barking dog, one that, you know, barks all day. Just if you want a Barky dog, get these genetically engineered ones, the ones that just bark all the time, just non-stop Barky dogs. I don't know what the original breed would come out of, but have competitions. Like you bring your dog to the Barky dog contest, and they just bark, 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 and whoever barks the longest wins. You could say louder barks are worth a bit more points if the duration's the same, but you want to have the supreme barking dog, and then that dog breed with other dogs to create even more Barky dogs. And eventually what you ultimately lead to is like a dog that just barks while it's sleeping. Like it's just lying there, like just constantly barking day and night. And I think those would be big sellers. I think the Barky dog, if you like these little dogs that bark all the time, get yourself a Barky dog in the future. I think that's the ultimate dog to get. Like if you're into Barky dogs, that is. You know, a lot of dogs are fairly new. Like the breed, because dogs only live to be 15 years or so, that you can, like, they're all descended from wolves. Like a Chihuahua and a Saint Bernard aren't too, like, they're not millions of years apart. They're a few hundred years apart in terms of evolution. It's that, like, that's how fast humans have been able to breed dogs and design dogs, which is quite insane if you think about it. You know, I guess I've always been a bit of a dog person, but some dogs, I don't know. Like, the Barky dogs, I'm not as big a fan of. I'll just be honest. They kind of annoy me. Like I used to have a cat allergy when I was younger. I was allergic to cats, like a severe allergy to cats, and I lost the allergy. Like about 10 years ago, I no longer was allergic to them. I could be around a cat all the time. So for some reason, It's weird how allergies work. It's like there's mutations in your DNA. It somehow fixes itself, and sometimes you develop new allergies too. But I, I I went from having allergies to no allergies for cats. So at first I wasn't as much a cat person, but I can tolerate a cat now. I'm not. They don't make me sick anymore. So um, I think that's also a reason why some people are cat people and some people are dog people. It's just allergies. If someone's allergic to a dog, they won't have a dog. Even like they might like having a dog, but if they got an allergy, there's not much they can do. I was looking at some of the things you can make later on, and there's a prefab panel factory that might want to be integrated into this because it uses some of these facilities, and I thought it might go here. So I was thinking maybe it's a good practice to put the construction offices here. Again, we assign our resource source, either nothing specified, we assign it to a nearby customs house, and then overload what we can. I want to actually assign the workers though to Mexico because I think we're not getting enough people out of that one. See, there's 34 queued up there. There's 45 there. Hold on. Actually, I don't think it matters too much because I don't think we even have a bus in this one. This one has a bus. So that one's going to Mexico. Okay, actually, let's make this one Canada then. This will be all Mexico. All Mexico must be all Canada. We'll change that back. We'll get the workers from here. And maybe we'll put a bus in there. If we see a loose bus, we'll put it there. A lot of our vehicles kind of suck early on too. Like I keep wanting to get some new vehicles to improve stuff, but they kind of suck. We'll make this one range. We'll set the range to, let's make it 1,000 meters. I don't want this one to be going all over the place. These should probably all be about 1,000 meters. Actually, some of them have to be working on this here too. So, but this one's kind of dedicated because it has the tower in it, right? So if it has the tower in it, this should go with it too. This is a nice combo because we'll set this one to be deliver mechanisms only. So now our open haul trucks will move our big excavators and our towers, and I think there's something else we could put on there. I think we'll put a bulldozer or something there. I might just leave the slot empty for now, and as needed, add another machine. And this one here, actually, you know what? We can move this to it. So now we have two machines. So yeah, this is kind of, see this crane here, it works like the tower crane, except it drives on its own. So it doesn't need to be in the same construction office as a flatbed truck. So same with the mixer, it never goes on a flatbed truck. So I want to keep all the machines in this building that don't need to be carried around. But also flatbed trucks carry things like steel and other, like you can see here, the kind of things that they can also haul. So they're either hauling the goods or they're hauling the machines. So we got two flatbeds and two machines in this building that can be hauled by flatbed. So let's assign this here as a project. I don't want to stand for it. So this will really get accelerated. The topic of this episode is going to be freeways and freeway design. So we're quite a bit into the episode now, just getting caught up on everything. I think we've kind of gotten a review, so this will be kind of the part where it's a bit of a tutorial, where we're designing our freeway system. So it might be a little bit arduous to watch for some people who are just looking for me going off on tangents and ranting about things, which I did maybe almost too much in one of the episodes. Eventually, if I could do shows where I'm not playing video games, like that's a whole other thing. The only issue with that is sometimes you start repeating yourself. Like I can't watch entertainers when you say the message enough times. Like Uh, if you've heard the spiel 1, 2, maybe 3 times, you don't need to hear it a 4th time. So it's kind of just you're listening to people to repeat something you already know. So the format itself, some people might want that if you're just looking for something quick to listen to. Maybe, I don't think I could go, 2.5 hours solo. Probably have to have like a guest or something to and ask a lot of questions. But that could be done too. Not necessarily game related. But for now, and again too, there's some people that like watching the virtual city get built. I think this episode on building a freeway is kind of a interesting one too, because I know if I was watching a city builder game, I'd kind of want to watch how the freeway gets built. So what I want to do here, in general, is this is where our 2 custom house workers come together. They merge into the start of the freeway here. This area could get developed quite a bit. We have all the things we need in this area. So this could be eventually a developed zone too, okay? But this is sort of the beginning of the freeway. It comes in here, and as we go through, we always want to have 2 lanes that go through everything. But they don't have intersections, so that's a given. We need bridges. There's definitely going to be a bridge there, and there's going to be bridges here too. I'm thinking we will do 1 at each. Just because this goes out to different zones. If you zoom out far enough, these are intercity feeders. So if we ever do expand and create new Soviet American cities out there, these should be somewhat priority roads. So I think we'll have to demolish part of this one here too to do that. So let's initiate that. So let's go here, get the jackhammer out, and remove. Let's start doing this. This one, I don't know if we'll be able to, we probably won't be able to in this episode. So then this we can take out to make a bridge. This will be a bridge. I don't know about this here. I think this may or may not be a bridge. We'll see. Maybe it goes over here a little bit. I'm not sure. This will be added after the fact. I think we can take out some. Well, we can leave them for now, right? They're not harming anything. They're still useful worker roads, but I think eventually this is a non-permanent road. I think this will be taken out. So kind of the last bridge we're going to design today at least will be, we'll do these 3 bridges, these interchanges. I think that's about it for Los Angeles. This whole area I expect is going to be filled in. Then we'll get here. And now this is, even though San Francisco is a little less, it's not as developed and isn't going to be as big initially, the challenge is how densely populated it is. I guess just like real San Francisco. And eventually it has to connect to our Golden Gate Bridge, right? So this, technically this definitely won't be like this. Like this will have to be an overpass then. Because this is going to be the end of the freeway. And then this will be an interchange of sorts here. And part of me is thinking that this should be all elevated. All between this whole zone, this should be all elevated. Because if you're going up and down the ramps and this, this expands out a little bit, like it's so tightly confined here. I know it's not I think I said in an early episode, building freeways through your city is not a aesthetically good idea, but when you have limited space, you can't really do much about it. And I think in order to make our, distinguish highways from roads, watch Not Just Bikes, again, highly recommended channel. you want to make it so that there's less direct interference, even though having a highway over your head is arguably less aesthetically pleasing. It does still let you wander the streets. If you've been to Vancouver, you got this place called Granville Island, and it's quite insane. It's literally, you can walk around peacefully, drive around slow in your car, ride a bike, whatever. But there's literally giant bridges crossing over you. It's insanely developed. It's just it couldn't be more urbanized. Again, I've been to San Francisco too, so I know a little bit how that works. I don't think we'll extend it above ground all the way to it though, because I think we'll see. We'll see. Initially, the thing I know for sure is we'll make this an interchange. I think this would be an interchange too, because we want to get some connection. We have to get out to this zone somehow. So the road will go under here. So I think that's our general plan. So I guess we'll get started here. Actually, let's start with San Francisco and work our way back. When I was younger, I was watching the World Series, and it was in San Francisco, and I watched it live on TV. I saw the earthquake, like what had actually happened. And I remember that being at the time, one of the most, this is before 9/11, right? Which later was the craziest thing I ever saw. Maybe I'll do a rant on that, or not really a rant, just a storytelling thing. But I was much younger when this happened in San Francisco, and I watched the earthquake shaking the camera, and the announcer's like, "What's going on?" You can find some old footage of it actually happening. And this is the World Series. At the time, baseball was a little bit bigger. Other sports didn't have quite the market baseball had, and even in Canada, you watched this. This was like a big event. And watching what had happened was like one of the most shocking things I'd ever seen. Like, there were a lot of fatalities. I think hundreds of people died in this, and thousands, if not tens of thousands, of injured, and billions of dollars of damage. And it just happened live on TV, and it was just absolutely shocking to see this. And I'll never forget the multi-layered freeway that collapsed in San Francisco. Just this. That I was thinking, oh my God, imagine being that poor person who was underneath this, and it's like, how do you get off, right? Because you're stuck on this freeway. And I remember that being the first time where I started thinking of scenarios in life, like how do you deal with it? Like, similar to be like being stuck on a plane. It's like the plane's going to crash. It's like you have to come to terms with things. It's out of your control, right? Just the horror of that situation that there's no way out. And I remember that how disturbing it was as a child to see that on television. Again, the world's seen much crazier things since. Like, even stuff in the world today is crazy in some parts of the world. But that was the first time that that's something that had that kind of coverage that shocked me. So again, that's going to be maybe a little bit of an inspiration here. This little freeway we're going to build here. Okay, so when you build bridges, they have different speed limits. Like the wooden one is 30 kilometers an hour. It's very cheap, but I think it kind of defeats the purpose of a freeway. There's also these brick bridges. They only go 70 kilometers an hour. Don't think we'll be using any of that. Once you have if you have surplus bricks, maybe. We have these prefab bridges and the concrete bridges. Like, this can go 24 meters between pillars. This goes less, so maybe the concrete one is better. It looks like they're all pretty much similar. You'll notice too they're bent, so these curved ones are what I want to do here. So it's either going to be a prefab bridge, which I don't think it is. I think we're just going to go with the concrete bridge. We have these arch bridges. I don't know how well these bend. And then these other ones here, like the steel arch bridges, they don't have any bend at all. So this one here is kind of interesting. You can have a look at it and see if that looks nice. You'll notice, so when I go up and down, so when you build highways here, this took a while for me to learn, actually. I wasn't doing this right at first. You have to either terraform around quite a bit, which I don't want to do right now, just because having a track around in realistic mode, and I don't. It actually alters the land around it and your buildability. And this is such a densely populated area that I don't think it warrants it. But the idea, though, is the best way to do it when you don't terraform is to start with something on the ground. You choose bridge on the ground. This is how you start your bridges. So you go like this, and it's good to be on grid. And then you pull them a certain number of. You want to, if you're going to do parallel bridges, keep count of them. So you go a certain distance. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a little bit more gradual. Okay? And then you hit the Q and E button to go up and down. Now, 6 meters, I'm pretty sure isn't enough. So I'll just show you here. 6 meters can't go over anything. And if you, in terms of aesthetics, I think the longer you make it, the more realistic it looks. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. See that current height 9 meters? Okay, and that's how you start that. We also have roads here. I haven't really gone over the roads too much, so let's do that now. This is part of the freeway building. Ultimately, we're going to be building asphalt roads. While you can't see myself on the camera because I'm usually covering this, you see that 110 kilometers an hour. And people actually can walk on the sides of these, though I would not recommend it. It's not. You should be building paths for your workers, or you build this one here. This one has lights and sidewalks, so it's more expensive, and it has a higher walking speed, so people can walk along these. But this is going to be a bypass, so this one won't have that. But there might be parts of the freeway that, or other highways might use this. Like if this is, this might be built here. Like this highway here might use that. Mud roads are used for a lot of stuff, and they're free. Top speed 35 kilometers an hour, so most of your vehicles are operating inefficiently on them, so you don't want to use them. Gravel roads get you up to 60 kilometers an hour. Panel roads, 80 kilometers an hour. And then there's these other things, these like trolley buildings, but we built a metro system, so we're not going to use them. So that's basically it. It's like the two flavors of 110 kilometers an hour. You got your mud, you got your gravel, and you've got your panel road. But I think we're going to be using a concrete bridge just for most stuff. It bends too, right? And you want to put some nice bends. So this could be the start of it. Now this could also go all the way over here as an elevated bridge. But I think we're just going to make another bridge up here. But this will be sort of our interchange that gets us onto the bridge. Let's see what 6 looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. So that will become an overpass. We'll put like a turnaround here. So maybe a cloverleaf here. So that gets us onto the bridge, and we'll head over here into Oakland, right? Modern Oakland. Is this nicer than the real Oakland? I have driven through Oakland once. I've seen some pictures of parts of Oakland lately. It sounds like capitalism isn't working out so well there. Seems like there should be a little bit more redistribution of wealth. Seems like something's not quite right. Okay, we also want to, there could be a road connecting here, so maybe this does elevate a little bit longer and the road goes under. But this is just for now, we're just generally planning. Let's not get too specific, right? But we'll be a little bit more specific than we were before. So let's get a nice curved road. Let's see how that looks, right? Okay, I'm just going to be honest, this isn't the best freeway building game there is, okay? But I think there's a little bit of commie to this. This is the Soviet Union's version of it. Okay, so here, If we put that there, the only option we have is these. I think you can just barely see that above my picture. This is the only one-lane road. We don't have one-lane bridges. So it's kind of limited what you can do. You can go like this, go like that, and then we can go like this maybe. Is that even connecting? Maybe. And we'll just switch the direction of it. Like that. Okay, let's just demolish all of this because we're going above ground all the way across here. Actually, let's kind of build out our grid a little bit too. And then we'll go like that. And so our bridge is going to go over all this here. And we will connect this road here. This one here. This will connect to the grid as well. It's going to stay on the grid. Let's see how the traffic's going in this area. Maybe it goes this way. I think it going this way would make a little bit more sense. So at some point, I think this is the grid. Like that, and then we'll go like that. And we'll go like that. You know what, maybe we'll actually do both here. Let's expand the grid both ways. Because we're just going to build over top all of this anyways. Build that there. There. I don't think we'll have room for anything else. This will just be freeway in this area. So this lets our grid kind of go outside, and like if, let's say we have a hospital here, then the people that live here can just, it's a quick drive. I know you're going under a freeway, but at least you're on the grid. And even this here, actually this might be, both of these might get completely bypassed, I'm thinking. And this will be our interchanges here. I think we're going to have to just bulldoze all this. This is like in LA, there was a road like this. Maybe not the last bit. Actually, maybe the last bit. We can always rebuild. To have a bit more isn't a big deal. This is all questionable use, but okay. So this here, I think, becomes our main road here. This is where I'm drawing the mountains. Remember Bob Ross would draw the mountains? So this becomes a major road. This could be, this will be a major road. We might even go beyond here. We've got to allow room for the city to expand. So this continues on this side here. Like that. There you go. This is your entering San Francisco from LA. We'll ride along on some cars later. It's kind of an efficient bridge, and it lets us expand into this area. And this is how you make Soviet freeways. So anyone coming in from down this side can turn right into the city, and anyone in this area can get back onto the freeway. I don't think too many people would, like the people that would use this lane here are going to live around here. You wouldn't have people here going onto it from this side. It's this section here that would use it. Because if people are on this side, if they're going here, then they're just going back to where they came from. They'd be more likely to just go this way. But there is people that live in this area. Likewise, people in this area to go that way, they go here. And people that coming from this side that want to get into this quadrant would get off here. Okay. I could go 6 meters and then go to 9 meters. That would be cool. It does work. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. So this would be 9 meters. 6, then 9. Just sort of remember that. We went about that distance because we want it to taper off in a similar manner. So this is our recreated. Actually, the other side, we're going to have to change it a bit. So this is kind of neat. There's no advantage to wrapping up too far. We want this to go as quick around the city as possible. Like that. And then like this. Whoa. Yes, I think that's pretty good. Although I don't like that little straightaway part there. Let's have a look at a distance. No, that looks not bad. I think we'll do that. It's good enough. It's reasonable. Sometimes when you try to nitpick things, it gets even worse. Let's make this slightly wider. I don't know when this segment's going to get built. I think the LA segments will get built sooner, but yeah, let's have some nice curves here. Like that. And similar. Okay, I think we're in business here. Not perfect, but there's our San Francisco bypass, our Soviet expressway. And that should help, that'll get traffic around the city fast. That's your end-to-end feeder. Now, there's no way to merge on-ramps here. Okay, that's one of the unfortunate things here. Okay, let's figure out our main route here. Okay, we started doing this. This might need some touch-ups, but immediately we need to do this here. So our main highway appears to be these two here. So these are the two. This one here I think we can get rid of. I don't think we're gonna... This could be a road later, but we need the space. So this here, this is the highway. Get rid of all this here. I want to make sure our expressway lane is built, that it goes uninterrupted. So our bridges must go over our expressways. And the thing with highways is that it's not just for your commuters, it's for your construction industry as well. Okay, this needs to move. This is in the wrong place. Born in the wrong part of the world. The number one determination of your success in life is the situation you were born into. It's not your actual abilities or anything else. Well, you get born into a situation where you're taught the abilities is sort of the thing. And people tend not to teach other people, so it kind of makes it harder to be successful from disadvantaged backgrounds. But that's just life sometimes. Make do with what you got. Okay, so this won't move. I don't know why it won't move. Okay, this garbage truck is in the way. Oh, I don't have the road. I tore out the road. That's what it's saying. So we'll put it in for a second here, just to get it off, get it out of the way. I'm just going to delete it right away. Nice and straight. Perfectly straight. Okay, what's this guy doing? What's this guy doing? Where is he going? Oh, no. We're getting rid of this road depot. You're not going to that depot. You're going to that one now. Yes. And then we'll get rid of all this here. Get rid of this. That. I don't know if, like, this is a long stretch to justify. Like, if this was over the Fiscal Cliff USA, yeah, you'd do an interstate. But I don't think the double lane in each direction is as feasible as probably expanding our high-speed rail. Because it's faster, and I think it overall cheaper when you consider the fuel costs, right? It doesn't adhere to the consumerist ideology that corporations have. But this isn't, a corporate-controlled society we're building here. So let's go back on the grid. And this is on the grid here. Let's try to create a point. See if we can do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. Because then it's consistent between our going on and off this segment of the video. 2. That's 1 too far. 1 too far. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on. Are we snapping? Yeah, we're snapping. Alright, this is missing. Okay, let's go back out. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's 6. We did that in one take last time. Let's see if we can get that going again. Oh, it's crooked as hell. Let's have a look. What did we do over here? Oh, you know what we did? This is what we did. We built, we only had, I think we had one road at the time. And I think if we do it, let's see if that works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's like there. Why isn't it? Let's take that off. I think there might be something to do with the elevation here. I think we're going down a hill or something. I don't know if we're going to get exact symmetry here. Maybe if we start a little further back, yeah, because on the other side it's going to be steep. Actually, let's start from this side, because this is going to be more of an issue. Just put this back in here. It's the Barky Dogs. You hear the Barky Dogs? They just bark all the time, day and night. Day and night barking. Get your Barky Dog. Okay, so this is going to be tight. Yeah, we're not going to be able to do a Cloverleaf here. This is going right in. If we could blow up this part of the city, but the freeway traffic from this direction probably isn't going to be that bad. Like, it's so far away to the next city, you know? Let's go by eyeball here. It's a little crooked even. That's 9 meters though. I think they're a little bit further. Okay, I think that's going to be it. Sometimes you got to go by the eyeball method. And then go down to ground. It's not. Oh, I think that pillar might be in the way though. And we can take out that. Put that. I think it might automatically be able to figure this out. Try again. Oh, come on. Come on. Let's go a little bit. There. There we go. But that's because of the terrain, right? Yeah, I think it'll be like a gridified Cloverleaf. Oh, gotta put this back on. I think that's as good as we'll get there. Maybe a little like that, and then like that. And then I think we go like this. Oh, right there we got something. And we'll get back on. We could merge that better. I'll just leave it like that for now. I'm not going to commit to building any of this just yet. But we will start the first phase. It's like I want one of these lanes all gravel. I think like this one we already started here. I think this is going to be all gravel. Actually, I know it's going to be all gravel. So we can actually do that right now. And I'm not going to say don't build this, because I want this to get built slowly. Not high priority, but when trucks have nothing better to do, because this is going to be our bypass to go through the city. And then let's see if we can get another lane here. Yeah, we can't get off on this side. This is a problem. Like maybe if we tear down some houses later. But again, the goal of this is to you're creating an expressway around the city. Any other benefits? Like if you can make it an expressway in other directions, that's just a bonus. But it's not like the goal. It's like that. So this would be a busy intersection, and this could lead to community in this area, which I think it will. So we'll go like all the way up here even. And this will connect here. So if you get off here, you can go around that way. You can go around to get off here. And then I think we'll have something similar on the mirrored side here. So let's expand our grid this way and expand and connect there. So like that. And then like that. This, and like that. Okay, so we can't do that one. I guess the only one we kind of have left is this one. So let's do this one up. This will be kind of a busy one. I am very tempted to make this a full Cloverleaf one though, because this could be one of our busiest ones. Because this whole sector could be fairly well developed. Like we're really, it's bursting at the seams right here, the city, right? Let's do this one, and we do have a little bit more space right now to actually do some cool bypasses. That, however, can go there. I like this. It's looking nice. We got our road in here. We connect to our. Have to adjust these curves a little bit. Maybe shorten that. Yes. So. And then here, similar. The road is the first part. Like that. And then likewise on the mirror side, we go like this. Right there. It's kind of neat. And then that merges in, and then that merges out. Then mirror that. We got 3 lines in between. Is that a mirror? I think that's a mirror. And then see if we can bend that. No, let's go back one. That, and like that. And I think this will give us a lot of combinations of routes. And we'll develop a lot in this area, in this direction too. So we would go from here to here. That. Then this, and then like that. Soviet freeways. It's kind of tight here, up to the bridge. A little bit like this, and then tight that way too. And then the only thing is this way here. Go a little bit further out on this one. That. And then see if we can curve around it. It's kind of neat. Like that. Let's see, curve around it too. And it goes a little bit past here. So we'll go here, here, like that. Probably line these up a bit better later. Again, it's a Soviet freeway system. I think I'm going to call it an episode now. We can't do this one here, and there's just a bunch of tidying up I'm going to do offline. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave some comments. If you have other suggestions to improve the freeway, just let me know what I should do in the videos. What you like more. If you like more ranting, more jokes, I'll come up with more comedy bits and other episodes too. As I run out of tutorials and stuff, I'll try out various things and see how that works. So I guess it was fun, and I'll see you next week.